Hey, what's up YouTube? Here's another video by Ratchets and Wrenches, and today I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the thermostat on a 1997 Subaru Legacy Outback, and also how to bleed air out of the cooling system. Okay, next step is going to be to jack up the passenger side of the car, both because it makes it easier to get to the thermostat housing and also make it easier to bleed the air out of the system later. Okay, as always, whenever you want to raise your vehicle, you want to put the emergency brakes on. Okay, now it's time to place our jack stands, and if you're wondering where I'm going to be placing it, it's going to be towards where the control arm attaches to the body at the rear point. Next, we remove our radiator cap. Okay, next it's time to remove this lower radiator hose and start removing coolant from your system. Make sure you put your catch pan underneath, and you know, if you go by the book, I think you're supposed there is a drain valve to the right lower side of your radiator, but you know, since I'm going to be removing this housing anyway, then coolant's going to be draining out, might as well just drain coolant from here and make it easier. Okay, and this is attached to the lower radiator hose attached to the thermostat housing by two 10mm bolts. One is on this side, the other one is on that side. So start moving them a little bit at a time until coolant starts seeping out from the sides, and then you want to let that run for a while until you get all the coolant out, and then continue to pulling out the bolts. There we go. Now, completely remove this and turn this the other way and dump all the coolant. There's still a lot of coolant here in this hose, so be careful. So once you remove this, you want to turn it towards your catch pan and drain all the coolant out of that hose. And there's our thermostat. Alright, now it's time to remove our thermostat, and there's going to be a lot of water coming out of here probably, so keep that in mind. There we go. Alright, as you can see, whoever did this job last, replaced this thermostat, has used some gasket making or RTV silicone around this housing, and that's totally unnecessary. The O-ring that goes around the thermostat, I'll show you later, will do all the sealing. So what you want to do is get a razor blade and clean this area completely as best as you can, especially if there's any gasket material on the inside. You want to make sure you get all that stuff out. Okay, so next you want to get your new thermostat, and very important point, whenever you're replacing a thermostat on a Subaru, you need to always get this from the factory. And you know, you're gonna have to pay dealership prices for this and get it from the dealer, but call around, call different dealers. Sometimes you get some better prices at different ones. Okay, so you grab your new one and then you put your the rubber gasket around it. That's it. Make sure it's all the way in there, firmly in place, and now it's ready to be installed back in the car. Okay, so after cleaning this area, we're ready to put our thermostat back on there, and hopefully this rubber gasket will help keep it in place, and it does. Okay. Run these down a little bit at a time, you know, don't put this one all the way in and then go to the next one. Just okay, so after tightening these two bolts a little bit at a time, it's time to torque these down, and the torque spec I could find online for these was about 5 foot per pound, which is crazy low. So I'm gonna go with 8 foot per pound, especially since I'm gonna be using an extension on my torque wrench. Okay, again, do them one at a time, a little bit at a time. There we go. Okay, so before you start adding coolant to the car, you need to get inside your car, turn the key to the on position, and put the heater all the way to the max. If you have a manual one, this should be enough, or if you have an electronic one, you want to make sure the key's on the on position and your heater is turned to the highest. Okay, so before you start pouring in coolant, you need to loosen this bleeder valve or bleeder screw. It's on the right side of your radiator if you're sitting in the car, and requires a Phillips head screwdriver. And just turn it where the radiator cap is, and we're gonna add slowly, and then all the air that's in the system, since this is the highest point of the vehicle, is gonna be bled out from this hole right here. Okay. Okay, so after pouring about 1.5 gallons, the coolant has started coming out of this bleeder screw. So we're gonna tighten it back on. Okay, next what you want to do is fill up your overflow tank to the max level. Okay, and next you want to put your radiator cap back on. And just a note, I'm replacing this radiator cap also. It's a very good investment, you know. And again, you want to make sure you use factory and don't use aftermarket. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna put the radiator cap back on. We're gonna start the car, making sure our heater is turned out to the max, and run the car until it warms up. That means the temperature gauge reaches normal operating temperature. Then you turn it off, let it sit for a while until you can safely remove the radiator cap, which is an hour or two, just to be on the safe side. And if the level is low, you just add coolant to it. Also check the level that's in the overflow tank. If it's gone lower than the max, you add coolant. And you do this, do it 2 or 3 times, and you should have after that you should have gone all the air out. Or if you're in a hurry, you can just do it once, and then after you go drive it to somewhere the next day, and right before you get in the car and start it, after you let it sit to cool down, of course, just check the coolant and then add coolant, and continue doing this until when you check it, you don't have to add coolant to it. Okay, so yeah, so that's it, and hope this video helps people out there. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. See you next time.